next task that we want to do is modify our code to use function definitions. Right? And so why do we have function definitions? Well, there are two reasons. Right? One is to increase readability of your code. The second, the second reason is to follow the programming mantra: write once, use many times. Okay. And so what we're going to be showing here is that we're going to be using function definitions to increase the readability of our code. All right. We'll go ahead and exemplify this mantra at a later time in a later video. But for now, we're going to increase readability of our code using function definitions. Now, how do we do that? Well, we take a look at our code, right? Now, if you take somebody off of the street, bring them into, well, not somebody off of the street, but somebody who knows how to program. Maybe somebody from the Intro to Computer Science class, right? They're working with JavaScript, not Python. You take them here to your code. It's going to take them a while to figure out what is going on here in this code, right? You wrote it, so you know what's going on. But let's take the you 3 months from now, right? You bring yourself in front of this code, you'll be like, what is going on here? I don't know. And you'd have to figure it out line by line. Right? So we can go ahead and increase readability of our code here by using function definitions. And so the first one that I want to do is right down here, right? This might be confusing to somebody. And this is what we call clearing out the tracer. So I'm going to go ahead and make a function definition called clear tracer, and I'm going to call it right here. Okay. So what is going to be the body of clear tracer? I'm going to go ahead and put this code in the body of clear tracer so that it runs that right here on line 32. Right. So it's underlined red, and the reason why it says unresolved reference to clear tracer, it means clear tracer as a function definition doesn't exist. So I need to make one. Of course I need to make one. So I'm going to come up here to the top of my program. I'm going to say clear_tracer, and I'm going to paste that in. Okay. Now we have an issue, right? And what's the issue? We have a red line. If I hover over pen, and what does it say? Unresolved reference to pen. What does it mean? It means pen does not exist here in clear tracer. Doesn't exist, right? Why not? Because is pen local or is pen global? Well, pen I created here on line 17. Line 17 is in the body of main. So pen is local to main. Pen only exists in main. And it doesn't exist over here in clear tracer. Right? So how can we solve this problem? Well, we can go ahead and take this local variable and we can pass it to the function definition. Pass it to the function called clear tracer. So when it gets to line 38, it's going to go and jump up to line 7, but we're passing clear tracer as pen as an argument. So when we get up to line 7, we need to catch that argument as a parameter. So the parameter can be the same variable name. It can be a different variable name. Right? To make life a little easier, I'm just going to call it P. Okay, my P is my pen. Okay? And remember, a parameter is just a temporary variable that's storing information from wherever this function definition was called. Right? So, line 38, we're passing the turtle. Goes to line 7, the turtle is here in P, and then I'm clearing the tracer using line 8 through 10. So if I run my program, see if everything works the same, and it does. If it didn't work the same, we would have a big portion of the grid not printed out. Okay. All right, so that's good. Next thing I want to do is take this block of code right here and do the same thing with it. Right? And so we want our function name to be descriptive. And so what does this block of code do? Well, if you remember, it starts on the left side of the screen and goes to the right side of the screen. Right? And left side of the screen, and then it goes to the right side of the screen, keeping the same Y position. So this block of code here creates our horizontal lines. And so what I want you to do as a challenge exercise is to write a function definition for horizontal lines and call it right here in main. Right? and do the same thing with this block of code down here. Of course, choosing an appropriate name. Okay. So I'm going to leave that as a challenge exercise, and basically what you can do is the same thing I did here with Clear Tracer. Write a function definition, copy and paste the code, and then call the function definition so that it runs here in main. Once you do, you should test it out, see that everything works the way it did previously, because we're not adding anything to the code, we're just changing the way the code is run, right? But the same commands are executing in the same order, we're just changing how it's done. To increase readability, we are adding function definitions along with function calls.